On this edition of CAPS 13 News, Pittsburg State University is working to prevent mold in dorm rooms on campus. Plus, an old building near PSU serves one last purpose for local firefighters. And there's a new place to stay in downtown Pittsburg, an inside look at this unique Airbnb. All that and more coming up on CAPS 13 News.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of CAPS 13 News. I'm Lance Benning.
And I'm Peyton Holloway. Last week, CAPS 13 News reported that outbreaks of mold in Nation Hall were affecting students at Pittsburg State University.
This week, the university responded with counteractive measures to solve the issue. Jeremy Hansen has more.
After the initial report of mold in the residence halls last week, Pittsburg State University took action to comfort the students and solve the issue. Sean Trock is a freshman student at Pitt State living in Nation Hall and had his room inspected this week. He followed the inspection that took place in his room and has more information.
He just came in and he just took out a little flashlight, looked at all the corners and the baseboards and stuff, looked inside the AC unit, and then just kept doing his business and bid us a good day and just went on to the next room.
Mold is a serious issue that can cause complications to an individual's health. Elizabeth Graham, a nurse practitioner at the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas, tells us more.
Well, it depends on the person, but you can have an inflammatory response and end up with upper respiratory symptoms or allergy-like symptoms. So runny nose, cough, shortness of breath, wheezing, kind of depending on the individual and their sensitivity level to the mold, and then their immune system.
And for some people, mold can become an even bigger issue.
You could develop bronchitis, which causes the wheezing and shortness of breath. If you're very sensitive to the type of mold you're exposed to or have like a prolonged exposure, then you can develop that and need like respiratory medications, like an inhaler or anti-inflammatory like steroids to help with the symptoms.
Some recommendations to avoid mold in your living areas are to keep the area well ventilated and clean. The use of a dehumidifier is also encouraged.
But I feel like that they are doing a good job, just making sure that everybody's room is clean and everybody's healthy.
For CAPS 13 News in Pittsburgh, I'm Guilherme Hansen.
October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and to show support, Students for Violence Prevention has tied purple ribbons around trees on the Pitt State campus. The ribbons are part of a larger initiative known as the Purple Ribbon Project. The project started in the community with local businesses allowing Students for Violence Prevention to draw purple ribbons on their windows as a sign of support and understanding for survivors of domestic violence. It expanded to putting the ribbons around campus as a way to show survivors that the entire campus is safe and has resources to help. Megan Woodfield is the student behind the expansion. She hopes one day they no longer have to do these initiatives.
I mean, the ultimate goal is that this kind of thing continues, and then even past that, I would say that the biggest goal is that, you know, we no longer have to do any of this stuff because it doesn't exist, but definitely just trying to get that information out there and get people aware of it.
The ribbons will be up for the remainder of October, but Students for Violence Prevention will continue to advocate for domestic violence awareness throughout the year.
There are an estimated 40 million people in slavery around the world today. International Justice Mission is a student group looking to raise awareness of this issue. They are one of about 100 campus chapters in the United States and are dedicated to activism surrounding modern-day human slavery. They will be participating in a worldwide event called Freedom Fast. For Pittsburgh State's chapter, they will be hosting the event from November 12th to the 16th. This event involves donating money for a day's worth of food at a fundraiser while fasting and praying for 24 hours for an end to slavery. Andrea Batchelder, the student president, likes that it gives her a chance to help others.
I really like it because it just gives me like something to fight for and say that like this is something I'm a part of and I'm passionate about it, just like spreading the word.
If you are interested in joining International Justice Mission, you can send them a message through Guerrilla Engage and they will send you information on meetings and events.
Pitt State students get a chance to make connections and explore options for the future.
Skylar Friedel has more.
The career fair was held at the Robert W. Plaster Center between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. today. Its purpose is to allow the students of Pittsburg State University to network with various employers and learn about the potential opportunities in their fields, from internships to job opportunities. It is open to all majors and classifications of Pittsburg State University. There was no cost to students or registration beforehand required, although students were expected to register at the event itself. Pittsburg State University also recommended students come prepared by researching the companies beforehand to know which companies might interest them and to have a resume ready if they wanted to talk to the companies. They also recommended dressing appropriately in business attire. The career fair featured companies from various fields, including police departments, construction companies, banks, graduate schools, and more. And at least some Pittsburg State University students found the fair useful as well, with Palmer Botts saying they'd found it very helpful.
Oh yeah, most definitely, because mostly I came this year just because I wanted a quick dry run, as I didn't really know what to expect, because I am going to take it, I would say, more seriously next semester, but I feel like this is a really good experience, and there was a lot more than I thought there was going to be.
He also admitted that he found several groups that interested him.
There was a few that I was kind of iffy about, but there's some that have pretty good entry-level jobs. It's something that I'm really looking forward to because I don't want to go into a career and I don't have really any experience about it, but I feel like these are really good starting steps in finding a career.
There was also plenty of other students who had long chats with the various company representatives. This is Skylar Friedel with CAPS 13 News.
Pittsburg State University will have another career day next semester from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on February 19, 2019.
An abandoned building was given a final purpose this week as the fire department trained their firefighters. The empty Alpha Gamma Delta building was the training ground for Pittsburgh firefighters as they work on bettering their skills through drills and use of different equipment. Spanning the course of several days, this gives them a unique opportunity to be put in an unknown environment while still being able to train in a less dangerous space. Battalion Chief Jeff Kavanaugh says his men are eager to train, and this is even more important considering the way buildings are changing.
We have different levels of firefighters. We've got a guy on my shift that's been here 6 months. Obviously he hasn't seen much fire in homes, so all the way up to guys that's been here 30 years that have seen a lot of fires. But fires are changing each and every day with the makeup of the material they make items out of. They're burning a lot faster and hotter now. So it's very beneficial for these, especially these newer guys, to get the training.
This practice is also utilized by others, such as the Pittsburgh Police Department. Property owners gave the city permission to use the building for the exercise. The structure is scheduled to be demolished in the coming weeks.
Downtown Pittsburgh has a new place to lay your weary head, and the name might sound a little familiar.
As if the hot beverage wasn't enough, Signet Coffee Roasters brings in a new addition alongside their shop, a bed and breakfast.
The Signet Loft, located on the second floor of Signet Coffee Roasters, is the first of its class and that is the only Airbnb in downtown Pittsburgh. Owners of Signet, Dennis and Leah Posterick, saw the lack of these rental spaces in Pittsburgh as a sign to start their own.
There are not many Airbnbs in town, so we thought, why not? Every place we've ever gone for visiting, gone traveling, we've used Airbnbs and we've really loved it.
The rental contains a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom setup along with a kitchen and washer and dryer. The difference between this bed and breakfast and many others, however, is the history.
Well, first of all, I'd say you just have to look at the wall. You won't find another one that has this wall. And this was on that wall, as far as we know, before 1912.
And our table/island in the kitchen. Everything has got such an openness to it. We call it the great room in here because you can be in the living room, kitchen, dining room, and all be together at the same time.
The loft is priced at $185 per night during the week and $195 a night on the weekends and can hold a maximum of 6 adults, making it a reasonably priced stay for families and friends.
But I think everyone looks at an Airbnb differently. What I always wanted to do is make somebody be able to come in here and feel like they're at home.
For CAPS 13 News, I'm Cody Renfro.
For more information on rates and guidelines, search Signet Loft on Airbnb.com.
Coming up on CAPS 13,
one PSU student works to bring two unlikely groups together. We'll be right back.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Slow down, check your surroundings, put down your phone, and be sure to use caution when using the crosswalk. 5,000 people are killed every year on the road, and someone is getting injured every 7 minutes. Drivers are just as much at fault when it comes to accidents. Be alert at intersections and keep your foot on the brake in busy public places. Don't let your community be a part of the rising statistics.
I saw, dude.
OMG, dude, I have the most epic idea for a story. We're gonna go ham with the fam on this one.
Beast mode! BT dubs this headline is gonna be so cray-cray. Lit.
That's so dope.
I am so proud of you guys. Hashtag blessed.
Are y'all gonna take your job seriously?
We'll show ya.
Pittsburg State University is honored newly selected university professor. On Wednesday, October 24th, in the Heritage Room at the Overman Student Center, 5 veteran faculty members were celebrated with the rank of University Professor at a reception. This year's university professors are Tim Bailey and Don Viney in History, Philosophy and Social Sciences, Cheryl Geifer in Nursing, Casey Hermanson in English, and Modern Languages with Dr. J in Math. The university professor is awarded to recognize senior faculty with their continued efforts in teaching and scholarship in service to the university.
University faculty, or senior faculty members are, when they've reached the point in their career where they're able to apply, in other words, they've been a full professor for 7 years, then they complete an application process. And that application is what we would call a dossier. So it's an exhaustive review of everything they've done over the past 7 years.
Professor designation is for 7 years and can be renewed.
One Southeast Kansas student is taking initiative to bring Pittsburg State students to the Lord's Diner and the Lord's Diner together to help the Pittsburg community.
Aaron Kapaska has the story.
A local PSU student has started a donation drive for the Lord's Diner located here in Pittsburgh. The Lord's Diner serves dinner for the community 365 days a year, and they encourage everybody to come enjoy a hot meal together. Caitlin is now bringing it to campus and asking the students of PSU to come together and give back to the community.
People can help by donating items that are located on flyers around campus, as well as on my Facebook page called Donate to the Diner. There are a bunch of items listed on there. I have donation boxes across campus and across town they can take the items to. I even have an Amazon wish list people can donate to, or a GoFundMe. Students can also help by volunteering at the Lord's Diner, going and eating at the Lord's Diner. They really want college students to know that it's okay to come eat there. They're more than welcome to. It's a warm meal, it's a great environment, everybody's welcoming, and they just want it to be a place where people can gather and eat.
They rely solely on donations and volunteers from the community to help keep their operation running. For the full list of donation items and more information on how you can help, go to their Facebook page, Donate to the Diner.
Turning now to weather, it's feeling more and more like fall.
Plus, will we need to keep the umbrella handy? Guillermo Hansen will have the forecast after the break.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Condition here in Pittsburgh is some rain showers scattered throughout the day with a high of 51 degrees. Tonight, the temperature should drop to the low 40s, reaching 43 degrees. Looking ahead, your forecast consists of a partially cloudy weekend, but it does not seem we will get any rain. On Friday, there will be a high of 58 and a low of 48 degrees. Saturday, we continue with the cloudy skies and a high of 71 and a low of 49. Sunday, the temperature will drop a little, reaching 49 degrees, but we should have a high of 65 during the day. After the cloudy weekend, Monday will come with sunny skies and a high of 66 and a low of 49. On Tuesday, we're looking at afternoon showers and possible thunderstorms. Overnight, with a high of 65 and a low of 49. On Wednesday morning, we will have some scattered thunderstorms and cloudy skies later that day with a high of 59 and a low of 39. And next Thursday, November 1st, we're looking at a mostly sunny day with some showers developing later that night. High of 58 and low of 40. Turning out to sports, Matt Twelson joins us. It was a great win for the PSU football over the weekend.
That's right. We'll have highlights from the game, plus a look at a new school that's joining the MIAA. We'll be right back. Pittsburg State Athletics had a stellar weekend with wins in football and volleyball, as well as a good finish in cross country. But let's get started with football, where the Gorillas hosted the Mules of Central Missouri. UCM was first on the board with this 2-yard run by quarterback Kyle Bradley. Pitt State then answered back with an 11-yard pass from John Roderick to Cole Bauman. UCM tried some tricky reverse play, but the Gorillas' defense wasn't falling for it and managed to cause a fumble that was returned for a touchdown by Morgan Salamea. After a quiet second quarter from both teams, with 5 minutes left in the half, Tucker Horak scores on a direct snap on the 1-yard line. Pitt State led 20-7 at the half. In the second half, Pitt State ground attack continued with this Tyler Atkins 35-yard dash to the goal line, and it wouldn't stop there. Keenan Schurig joined the party with a 30-yard carry of his own straight to the house to extend the Gorilla lead. UCM finally made it back to the end zone when Kobe Wilkerson, the backup quarterback, makes a big reach for the goal line and puts some points on the board for the first time since the first quarter. With the first snap on the fourth quarter, Tyler Atkins avoids some defenders and carries the ball 44 yards to add to an already dominant offensive showing. On the next drive, Tucker Horak adds to his already stellar performance with another touchdown. Near the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, UCM shows some signs of life when Kyle Bradley tosses this 61-yard pass to Zach Davidson. And on their next drive, Kyle Bradley would call his own number and carries the ball 11 yards for the last score of the day. On the next drive, Pitt would run out the clock and set up victory formation and a big statement win in the MIAA. Saturday's performance by Tucker Horak and Simanua Thomas earned them Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week honors in the MIAA. Now let's take a look at the football standings in the MIAA. As it stands now, the Northwest Missouri Bearcats still top the standings 7-1. Pitt State is not far behind, though, as they sit in third place behind Fort Hays, who has the tiebreaker. All the top teams in the standings are still fighting for the remaining weeks in hopes to receive a trip to the playoffs. Moving on to the scores and results from last weekend. As we've already discussed, Pitt State easily took down Central Missouri. Fort Hays won a close one against Kearney to keep second place. Central Oklahoma completely blanked Washburn, and Missouri Southern came out victorious against Northeastern State to get their first win and leave the Riverhawks alone as the only winless team. There was also a cross-country meet in Warrensburg, where the Pitt State Gorillas men took third place and the women's teams placed second. Then on to volleyball, where Washburn, Central Oklahoma, Central Missouri, and Pitt State all won both matches of the weekend. Speaking of volleyball, we now look at how the Pitt State dominated the weekend. The Pitt State women's volleyball team traveled last weekend and saw some pretty good results. It started Friday as the Gorillas traveled to Joplin to take on Missouri Southern, where they swept the Lions 3-0. The next day, the Gorillas traveled a little further to Bolivar, Missouri, to go against Southwest Baptist Bearcats. Another sweep was what Pitt State served up and are now 6-8 in conference this season. And now a look at the volleyball standings in the MIAA. Washburn and Kearney still top this list as the most dominant, with Central Oklahoma hot on their heels. The top 5 teams on this list have already clinched playoff spots, and the Gorillas are still in the hunt, needing just a few more wins to make the cut. Time is running out, though, with only 3 spots left. Be sure to keep a close eye on how this all shakes out. The end of this season will bring a departure of one school and the introduction of a new one to the MIAA. When the school year is wrapped in the spring, the Lindenwood Lions will be leaving our conference for Division I, and we will be welcoming the Rogers State Hillcats to the fold. In a statement made by RSU Director of Athletics Pat Ratcliffe, he said, "The MIAA is known for its championship caliber athletic programs, emphasis on academic excellence, and a commitment to community service. And these traits align perfectly with RSU's visions for our athletic programs. We look forward to some new blood joining this already competitive conference." Now let's take a look at what is coming up this weekend around the MIAA. Friday features some very important games for Pitt State and Lindenwood, as they are still in that playoff chase. But Kearney and Washburn look to play the spoiler role and continue to dominate the MIAA. Moving on to Saturday's matchups. Saturday is always packed with great football matchups, and this week should keep things interesting. Starting with Pitt State heading off to Missouri Western, hoping to keep the momentum from last weekend's win and keep themselves in the playoff race.
It starts up front for them on defensively. I mean, they've got some guys that are going to be hard to move, and you know, that's going to be a challenge for our offensive line, is to see if we can get some movement like we did last week. But again, very good up front. They run the ball extremely well, and you can see why they're 5-3, and the fact that they were really close on 2 of the 3 games that they lost.
Games coming up on Saturday. Kearney travels to Central Missouri for a very interesting clash. Emporia at Washburn is the battle of the 500 teams trying to turn their even record into a winning record. And finally, Lindenwood will try to spoil Fort Hays' perfect home record and knock them down in the standings. There is also some key volleyball matchups on Saturday, featuring Kearney traveling to Pittsburgh to try and shut down the Gorillas' playoff hopes. Lindenwood and Emporia will also face off and are both on the bubble, so keep an eye on this important matchup. And finally, Central Missouri against the juggernaut that is Washburn, where both teams have clinched playoffs. Next up, we have Sunday. Sunday features a match between Central Missouri traveling to Emporia, where the Hornets are still fighting for that elusive playoff spot. It's going to be a very exciting week for sports in the MIAA. Coming up on Caps 13, a look at events coming up next week. We'll be right back.
I've got a lot of things on my mind. Some things might make you laugh, some things might make you cry, some things might even compromise national security. Why is the internet so obsessed with cats? Hashtag dogs are better. Sorry, but it's true. I can't wait for my trip to Vegas this week, and hashtag Friday can't get here fast enough. Have a nice trip. I hate my job. My boss is such a Oh, crap.
Caps 13 Sports works tirelessly to bring guerrilla athletics to your living room. But when the university heads heard about the lice epidemic spreading into the area, they elected to bring in an expert.
Good luck, man.
Oh, hey, what's up, Doc? Is everything okay?
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Welcome back. Here's some events coming up next week in the Pittsburgh area. First, we have the Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival put on by the Chinese Student Association. The event will be held at 101 Whitesett Hall tonight starting at 6:30 p.m. Participants will have the opportunity to make lanterns and traditional Chinese paper cuttings, as well as trying some Chinese snacks and mooncakes. The event is free and open to everyone.
Next is Luther, the Rock Opera. This event takes place at the Bicknell Family Center for the Arts on Saturday at 1 and 3. The performance tells the story of the monk Luther, who is on a quest for peace with God. The proceeds from the show will go to local charities of the Troops' Choice and to emergency aid projects through Lutheran World Relief.
Our last event also takes place at the Bicknell Center. The United States Army Jazz Ambassadors will be performing on Monday the 29th at 7 p.m. The Jazz Ambassadors are the Army's premier big band with 19 members that have performed all around the world. The band plays a wide variety of jazz with talented soloists that can entertain anyone who enjoys the genre. So Peyton, you like jazz?
I enjoy some Louis Armstrong from time to time.
Okay, thank you. That does it for this week's edition of Caps 13 News.
Also, visit us on Facebook at Caps 13 Pittsburgh State University. Stay tuned to Caps 13 for more great programming.